actually kind of agree. We had that graphic at the top of the show with the possible flex pick that you have to have in your back pocket. We saw all three of them, the Fizz, the Shen, and the Lulu. But as the Fisho touched on there already, Trevor, the Lulu in the lineup of Giants, it might work in the composition, but not necessarily for the player.
No, it really doesn't. That's actually only the second time that Giants have run Lulu all split long. The only other time they ran Lulu was when Pepinero and Adri lane swapped against Fnatic. Adri played middle lane, and he picked Lulu into Fnatic, and that also went terribly. I think it's not a Pepinero champion. Pepe needs to be in a carry. He needs to be on something that is aggressive and can get in the face. But I do like what ROCCAT did with the likes of the Shen. That was the first time we've seen Vanda on it all split long. The Echo, as well as the Fizz. Only the second time that they've run that in the jungle and the top. So they added those flex picks that we felt were very important on the patch, and you guys touched on at the top of the show.
Yeah, I actually feel like the Shen, as you said, first time from Vanda, very solid. The Fizz started out a little bit shaky for Steve up against the Trundle, but there was obviously a decision made by the team. Never put Fizz up against Trundle, avoid it at all costs, and just rotate around the map, push through turrets. I thought it worked very well. I kind of want to highlight the Lulu once again. Tefisio talked about it so much. Lulu is a champion that was 100% pick ban in the LCK finals, the LPL finals, the EU LCS finals, the NA LCS finals. It's a champion that you have to be able to play around and play with around your AD carry. Giants can't do it.
And very quickly, I also remember ROCCAT banned it every single time against the Unicorns of Love. Other way around, Unicorns of Love banned it every single time against ROCCAT in their quarterfinal. So first picking it, also denied it from ROCCAT today.
I just want to, aside from picks and bans, step back to the early game. And I actually think Giants could have gotten ahead. Giants as a team seem to me that they're doing some things right, and then they completely drop the ball and just straight up lose the game. In the early lane swap, they had the momentum by taking the tower first with Tristana. Then they switched the lanes around, traditional lane swap style. They actually forced ROCCAT to actually 4-man the first tower too. Again, ROCCAT a bit behind in experience. Suddenly, Whirlip was ahead, and we saw that play out later in the game. But it went wrong when they tried to defend their dive on the second tower on the bottom lane. Pepinero walked in, got caught, didn't flash in time. He gave a first blood. Even then, it would have still been fine for Giants. If it weren't for them trying to even up a disadvantage that wasn't even there, they invaded the jungle and they got caught at Grump. And we actually have a replay that we can bring that up already. Kind of spoiled it already, but yeah.
And we can take it now too.
This is the second replay. This is the fight actually that happened way later in the game, so let's ignore the Grump fight right now. And this is actually the deciding team fight. After that whole Grump debacle went down, basically nothing happened. And then we got to this point in the game where suddenly ROCCAT decided, hey guys, let's fight, let's kill them all, let's get 4 kills and get Baron. But I feel that the game was already decided by this point, and it'll boil down to the early games later on in the stages in multiple best of 5s. Multiple games in his best of 5 for Giants to try and win the game.
Yeah, all of the control was with ROCCAT, and I also felt that I quite liked the teleport that was coming out of Steve. It was behind Giants for ROCCAT. They managed to punish it, and the entire time that fight was going on, Whirlip was running up the lane. I remember seeing his teleport was available. I just think Giants didn't expect the fight to happen so rapidly. And that was why Whirlip's like, I'll run up, chill guys, I'll be there soon. The fight breaks out. He's like, well, I'm still kind of running. It's going to be the same time if I run or I TP and end up being a waste. So had Whirlip been there sooner, maybe it could have gone different, but coulda, woulda, shoulda.
It's quite interesting as well, because we always talk about ROCCAT. They have to do more in the early game, make more happen. Do you think this is a testament to a new ROCCAT that is doing things in the early game, or was it the Giants not making the right decision?
I don't think it's a new ROCCAT yet. Personally, they made a couple of plays, the dive on bottom lane, it was orchestrated, but I don't think it's like this drastic change from ROCCAT yet.
I don't think it's drastic, but I do think it is a step in the right direction. By 34 minutes into the game, they'd actually cracked open Giants' base, despite the pace being slower. They had every dragon, they had 2 barons, they had aspect, like everything ROCCAT had to do right to win, they did.
The problem I have with that sequence of events is that Giants just let it happen. And as a team, every team in the LCS can get those objectives, can get those dragons, can get control of the map if they have a significant lead, if the opponent is not pushing back at all. Yamato Cannon came out and said, ROCCAT, we're playing the right style. But the problem is they're playing the right style in slow motion. It's going too slow, adaptation isn't there, and obviously it shows into a perfect 5 dragons game, into Baron, into close out the game beautifully. You don't really see the mistakes because nobody's trying to punish you. Giants, they were constantly freezing lanes, sitting back, waiting for something to happen. ROCCAT said, well, we're not going to make anything happen. And then you get these, kind of boring games where it goes kind of long and not much happens. But I want to see ROCCAT aggressively take their lead even further and snowball it more, because if you do this against Origin, who they're potentially facing in the next round, yeah, you'll just get punished.
And I think the Lulu mid with the split push Trundle and the relying on the Lulu plus Triss combo is part of the reason Giants were less able to force something. So different picks and bans in game 2 that could make it work.
Yeah, because their carry, who they're looking to deal all this damage to start plays off, is on a Lulu, trying to put it on Adri. Doesn't work out for Giants. Need to change that up.
That didn't work out. Maybe some different strategies for Giants. We talked about it. We also asked you guys at home which strategies you thought would prevail in the regional qualifier. And at Dodo VT writes, triple threat comps and TP Diana mid are really strong nowadays. Those might dominate the Rift for this week's games. We do know that Diana, who has been surging, is something that Pepinero has in his back pocket.
I would love to see Giants play this heavy skirmish type of composition where you just say, okay, it'll almost devolve into solo queue, constant fight and constant aggression. Roam, put Pepinero on a playmaker, a champion that can carry his own weight. Combine it, say, imagine if you have Trundle in the top lane being annoying like Whirl was last game. Then you have Diana in the mid lane, and then you have like a skirmish AD carry, good early spike. Just anything that can hold his own merit that allows Godfred to roam. Suddenly, Giants are putting pressure in all lanes at once. It might not be the typical meta, it might not be the best composition, but as a whole, I think this is the best shot Giants have. I would like to see them pursue something like that more.
And imagine if you had the versatility of a Gangplank in there as well. Whew, so much skirmish.
Yeah, pick Norband in this game. Very interesting. Well, in just a few minutes, the Giants will return to the Rift as they try to tie up this series against ROCCAT. We'll be back with Game 2 right after this.
Focus now, and if we will win, we will be on this wall in the future.
Yeah, do not think of winning, think of the game.
Okay, if we win the game,
the process, the beauty lies in the process.
There's the hook going down to him as well. Frederick with the last couple autos, but Nuke Dog over the wall. Great ultimate will knock all the aggressors away.
I'm on Gragas and Crash.
Yeah.
Trundle will be on this side. I ulti Trundle?
Yeah. Go Trundle. You got tempted.
Lulu flash. Go Nash. Nice.
But you can see that damage coming in. One goes down, two goes down. Make that the triple. 1-0 to ROCCAT.